evening, everyone. I hope that you all are doing great and had a good day so far. And before we start, I just want to take a moment to remember our dear member Sailesh Bhai Jasani, who left us yesterday. And his presence warmed because I was knowing him personally. He was a very humble and very active member of the ICA Dubai chapter. Once I put the message into the groups, I think you could see the number of the condolences messages we are getting in. So that shows like he was connected with every member. But anyways, and we are going to mourn uh, his lost in our next physical event. But yes, the life goes on. So here we are, the day three of our Power BI masterclass. Before we dive in, let me just say like it's good to see again. Right now, I can see 71. So also a warm welcome to those who are joining us for the very first time, who has missed the initial two sessions. And let me be very honest, like the who joined the new one, you already know the importance of the Power BI. That's why you are into the session. It's not less just like, another software, like essential toolkit that every finance and business professionals must know. And what I personally love about the Power BI, once you get the hang of it, you just makes your work so much smarter, faster, and like in a fun way as well. So if you are a numbers geek, the Excel wizard, someone who are just exploring, trust me, the next 2 days you are going to be the super valuable. So just keep an open mind and play around with the tools and looking forward for the sessions. And thanks to our speaker and the trainer, CA Mahendra Kiryani, who has spared his valuable time for the sessions. So, with that, I will hand over to our chairman, CA Jaiprakash Agarwal, who wants to share his words. Over to you, Jai Bhai.
Thank you, Amit. Nothing much to say. Only thing is these sessions are for you guys, and these are online so that you can attend from your homes and learn Power BI at the same time. Being a member, not required. You always have to come to the chapter. These are your sessions where you can learn. You will see more different approaches on the technology side, which we will take. Mahendra uh, is our champion for IT, along with Dikshit from our Exco member. These two people are brainstorming and coming with different ideas of engaging you on IT side. My dear friends, as chartered accountants, we are learning taxes. This is fine. We are learning IFRS. This is also fine. But one area where we have to uh, pull our shocks is IT. And that is my idea for this year is please pull up on IT and we will find ways to engage you on IT side like these sessions, very simple sessions, but at least your journey of Power BI is starting. We are taking baby steps so that everyone can be a part of it. My chartered accountant need to understand IT a lot. That's my vision. And that's why you will see me more on the IT side where I'll try to push you. I'll try to have more sessions, more different brainstorming sessions on IT. That is something which we are discussing and we will do it for you. But please be patient with us. And with this note, I'll request Dikshit to say a few words. Obviously, Mahendra, you will be hearing for 2 hours, but Dikshit from the committee is heading this COE section, Center of Excellence. I don't call it focus group, I call it Center of Excellence, COE from our side. So Dikshit, please go ahead. I'll unmute you. I know I have not given you the co-host. I'll give you, and then you will be able to unmute yourself. Please go ahead and speak a few words, and then we'll go ahead with the session. Dikshit, over to you.
Nothing to say much, Jai bhai. Thank you so much for the appreciation. I think it's all on the member who are joining in. The stomach is empty for the learning, I guess. Especially, I can see a lot of people coming in and asking a lot of questions during the sessions. So everybody wants to excel themselves, and I think Mahendra has been doing a fantastic job, in training our members. Always been happy to be learning from him, and I guess all the members are getting a value addition, and we look forward to do more and more such kind of technology event with your vision to make our CA, all the members, excellent in the IT, IT way. So basically, thank you so much again, Jai, Amit, and everyone involved in this, and especially Mahendra, to take this initiative. And all the best to everyone. Happy learning, and thank you once again.
Thank you. Amit bhai, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jai Bhai and Dikshit Bhai. And now much taking without time, I just straight away will go to the our trainer and the star of today's sessions. Mahendra bhai, over to you.
Thank you so much, Amit bhai, Ajay bhai, Dikshit bhai, and everyone for attending this session on Power BI. It's a pleasure to be back here again with you. We would start off with where we stopped last time. And I'll give a quick recap. As well as what we have done is we have shared the Power BI file where we stopped last time. So even if you are joining afresh, don't worry. We'll give first few minutes we'll spend to get you again on board. I have my colleague as well, Siddesh, who is on who is with me right now, and he is looking at the entire chat, and he would be answering while I'm explaining through the process. And I'll take breaks and I'll try to answer the questions and try to make it as interactive as possible. Before we start off, just a very, very quick introduction about me. My name is Mahendra. I'm a director with KPMG, and I lead the digital GRCS team, which is about looking at different technologies and seeing how we can use it for the betterment of providing services. And I thank once again ICI for giving me opportunity to share a little bit of what I know with all of you, and happy to be with you. So, without further delay, I'll potentially start off. And like I mentioned, I'll start off potentially with giving a quick background. But before I do that, I will request each one of you, have you been able to download the files that we have shared with you? If not, that is still also okay. I can wait for a second, but I'll just check, look at the chat if everybody has been able to do this. Yeah, everybody, most of you have been able to download the file. Okay. So let me start off with what you are going to do so that you are on you can start learning while practicing. Okay. So there was a PBIX file, the name of which is ICI 21st May workshop. Okay. And once you open that file, there are two Excel sheets that we have used in the first two sessions. I'll talk about what all we have done, but before that, let's get to 101. And you should be able to use this file because this is what the basis would be for the entire session. So what I would request you is firstly asking once again, everybody has access to those files, right? Chandrahans ji, I'll just put the files in the chat window once again. I don't know why it is not copying. Once again. I'm unable to copy this file for some reason.
Mahendra, which file you want me to post?
The chat I have put in, somehow I'm not able to post anything on the chat
The
window.
Siddesh one?
Siddesh has already done it. Okay. Sorry, my bad. Siddesh has already done it. So yeah. So everybody, have you downloaded this file? Yeah. Okay. People have downloaded the file. Perfect. So let me share my screen again. Now there are three important files. I'll show you which files to refer to from that. See, in this, there are three important files. There is sales report, there is target, and then there is this Power BI file, ICI 21st May workshop. I request you to open this particular PBIX file, and then you would have your Power BI dashboard on screen. The next step would be go to Files, go to Options and Settings, and then go to Data Source Settings. Once you do this, it will give you an option to link the files over here. So you can do sales report linking to sales report and target file linking to target. So if I click click on it and click on change source, you would be able to upload the file over here. Okay. Is everybody able to do that? Yeah, okay. I'll repeat the steps again. No problem. I'll repeat the steps. So go to File. That's the first step. Next step is go to Option and Settings. Okay, I'm going slow. I clicked on File. Then I'm going to Options and Settings. Then third step is go to Data Source Setting. I click on it. Then where you see Sales Report, you will click on Change Source. Okay. Wherever you have saved that Excel sheet, the Sales Report Excel sheet, click on it and link it to that file. Okay. Then do the same thing for the second file, which is the target file. Click on target file, click on change source, and wherever you have saved that target file, click on it, and then you just need to say OK. And your connection is ready. How do I open PBX file? Just double click on it, Vishal. I hope you have Power BI. What if I need to upload the target file? I mean, I had given all the files that are required for today's session over here. You can refer the today's link. There are only two Excel sheets. I'll show you once again the folder that you would see. You just need to focus on sales report, target file as of now, and this is the PBIX file, which is called as ICEI 21st May workshop. Yeah, click on apply changes, Anish. Yeah. Are we good to go? Vishal, you will need Power BI. I mean, you will have to download Power BI and only then this would work because it's a hands-on one. You will have to, Mitesh, you will have to click and do the change source. Okay, I'll show once again. Oh, Siddesh has put in step-by-step guide, but I'll show one more time for all of you to copy, and then I'll start giving the background. You will have some time to do these steps because I'll first cover in the 5 minutes what we are doing. So go to File, go to Options and Settings. File was the first step. I went to Options and Settings, step number 2. Step number 3 is data source setting. And then you will see this window opening. There is sales report, there is target. These are the two Excel. So I click on sales report. I just need to click on change source and update wherever you have saved that file. Same thing you will do for the next one, which is the target file. And then you are ready. Done. So, is everybody able to do that? Okay, okay. So we have yes, yes. So let me give you some background while others can still do this. Let me start off with sharing what all we have covered last time. So we did speak about, we started off with talking about the four stages of data analytics. Descriptive analytics, which typically is about identifying what has happened. Diagnostic analytics is about talking about why did it happen. So let's say, for example, if you did not make a profit, descriptive analytics tells you that these are the you have not made adequate profit. Diagnostic analytics will tell you because of which product you were not able to make profit. Predictive analytics tells you what can you do or which products you need to sell more to make more profit. And prescriptive analytics is where if you say, okay, this is my target profit, what should be the composition of the sales? So these are the four stages of data analytics. And in Power BI, we are largely able to cover the first three steps and a little bit of prescriptive analytics. So that was the core of the session. Uh, then we spoke about what is Power BI. It is primarily three key plugins from Excel, which is Power Query, which is used for data modeling, Power View, which is used for visualization, and Power Pivot, which is Power Pivot is more used for data modeling, and Power Query is used for connections as well as performing transformation layers. Okay. And to be successful in Power BI, these are the five pillars we need to master. You can't say that you know Power BI unless you have mastered these five pillars. The first pillar is extraction and transformation. Our first two sessions, we have spent a lot of time understanding how to extract data, how to connect it to various databases. The second pillar is modeling. Uh, Today's session would focus more on modeling. The third key pillar is calculations or using formulas or using coding, using DAX language. We learned a lot of it in the previous session. Visualization is something we would talk a lot about tomorrow. So that's what broadly uh, is required to master Power BI. Okay. Now I'll give you a quick snapshot of what all we covered in terms of our dashboard. Then before we start off the hands-on exercises, I will again take a pause and one second. Give me a second. Okay, let me see the questions. Okay. So we don't have any additional questions, which is good. Practice files is there in the chat, which Siddesh has just shared right now. Okay. Now I'm going back to our Power BI file once again. Okay. In this, you would remember in the first 2 days, we had completed loading the sales data. I spoke about various interfaces. So this is your desktop. Okay. This is the table view where all the data is stored. And then we looked at the Power Query editor. Okay. And we haven't done much modeling. We had just started off from the last one, which we would talk today more. We transformed data. We learned about how to create custom columns. We spoke about using M language in Power Query. We also did join queries, merge queries. We did various calculations, including the ones that are appearing on the right-hand side, the cost of sales, gross margin, so on and so forth. And we also learned segmentation analysis, as well as we created a few charts and trees. And then we had just started off with creating relationships, or we had just started off with the modeling phase. Okay. So this has been the summary of what all we have completed as of now. So now I will start off from once again, but let me take one final round in case we have any questions. How to upload Power BI file? You just need to save it and then double click and open it. Yeah, so if there are pending changes, just close the file, Sujit, and click on apply changes. It would work fine. Yeah. Okay, so this all we have done. Now, I would remind you, last time we had just done one connection. Okay, and we had these two tables. If you remember the connection I'm talking about, I'll go to modeling. Last time we had stopped over here and we had done this connection between data file or the sales data file and the target file. And we had spoken about that many to many connections. And I had said that we'll talk about it a little later. So I'll give you some theoretical understanding before we get into modeling, because it is very important to understand the theory on this one before we start off with the next areas. So let me go to that particular slide. Okay. I know this looks like a very overwhelming, complicated diagram, but this is how a data model structure looks like. Okay. It is called as OLTP, or Online Transaction Processing Schema. Basically, any ERP system that your organization is using, be it as simple as Tally ERP or be it as complicated as SAP, most of them use this kind of architecture. Let me put it in a very simple manner what this architecture means. Okay. To minimize the use of the data, what they do is they transfer the entire architecture into two. One is the master data and second is the transaction data. Example, the products that you are selling in your organization is a master data, because you will have 10, 15, 20, 30 products that you are selling. But each product that is getting sold, or each sale that you are making, would be multiple or hundreds or thousands even, because each product you would sell multiple times. It is called as transaction data. Now, how do we optimize the data storage? Wherever there is a product that you are selling, you can have a single product key or product ID, and then the product description, such as name, the size of the product, the packaging, the content, you can keep in a master file. So in the transaction file, you are just repeating the key of the product, and master file has all the information. Same goes for employee records, right? In each payroll data, you don't need to repeat the employee name, his or her Emirates ID, how many kids they have. Master data has all the information. The payroll master would just have the employee ID and maybe one or two fields. So this is what a model looks like. Model is like where multiple files are linked to each other in a manner that reduces the common fields, or reduces the data redundancy, or basically reduces the same information getting repeated multiple times. And it is called as normalized data. So this is an example of normalized data. Okay. Now, why I'm talking about this? Because modeling revolves largely around this. While normalized data in a SAP or a ERP system is always for optimizing, in data analytics, you can't over normalize the data. Otherwise, the connections would look like as complicated as this, which you don't want. Okay. So for that, we slightly denormalize the data, which means we club some of the data points where redundancies would not make it impact it very badly. And we try to build this kind of a structure. Since we are doing the sales data, or we were working on the sales report, let me explain you with the same example. So in the middle, we have the sales database or the entire sales report. On the top, we have the product keys or all the product related information. We can have the employee related information. We can have date related information. We can have customer related information. And this kind of schema is called a star schema, where your entire full data or complete data, which is in data analytics, it is termed as fact tables, are in the middle. And these are called as dimension tables, which are basically, it can be product dimension, it can be customer dimensions, it can be sales dimensions, so on and so forth. They are on the side. So this is what typically data analytics tries to achieve, which is a star schema. And data modeling is all about trying to build your data structure in a manner that it gives you maximum information by taking minimum or putting minimum load on your system. Clear? This was a heavy concept to start off with, but I want to, this is very important to understand. That's why I wanted to talk about it. So clear, right? Everybody is clear on this. Okay, perfect. So now let me start off then. If we are clear over here, let us start off with the practical example once again. And let me duplicate my screen. And let us start off with the hands-on. Okay. Now we are on the database again. Again, if somebody is finding difficulty, I really want everybody to follow, because this is a tool which you learn by doing. So I'll explain very quickly. File, you have to go to options and settings, data source settings, and just link this file back to the sales report and the target report. Okay, fine. Now coming to the data modeling. So data modeling happens over here. So we had the report view where you do all the visualization. We had the table view where all the data is stored. And then we have the model view. And I'll go to the model view. This is where the data models appear. Okay. We have to be at the model view. And then if you look at this two connections, okay, what does it say? This is our sales table, and this is our target file. Now, two of these databases are connected to each other, okay? And what is happening is the connection is cardinality says many to many. What does that mean? Let me explain you a little. So we have the sales data, which would have multiple sales, and then the target file. If I have this target file, there it has month-wise region level target. Okay, so let me open that file so everybody is able to visualize this better. So this is how the target file is looking like. So we have month level, region level targets. Okay, this is the month, January, February, March, and then we have the target at that level. Okay. Now you would see there are month level targets that are appearing over here. And similarly, the sales data also has granularity, which is basically saying that you have daily level sales. Okay. So, like I was explaining, these are two both data files or fact tables where multiple things would repeat, because every month you will have new targets, you will have region level targets. So typically you should not have relationships between these two. And let me explain you why. What does many to many means? Many to many means that in case of for January month, okay, there is a target for various regions. For February month, there is target for various regions. Over here also, there is in the month of January, there are sales for various regions. Now, if these two connect with each other, and if I filter one table, the other table would also get filtered. Okay. So typically what should happen is from the master table, let's say for example, if you have 10 products, product A, B, C, D, and you want to see the data or sales data of product A. Ideally, when you click on product A from the dimension table or product table, all the sales data should get filtered. But when you club both the long data or fact data, if I click from the fact data, it would create a lot of confusion in the modeling. Okay, so that's why it's a very bad practice that two of your tables where data every day will keep on adding is filtering each other, because it will create confusion and sometimes you may get incorrect results. So we should not have this kind of modeling. So what I'll do is I'll right click on it and I'll delete this relationship. Everybody with me? You guys are clear? Okay, so I delete this relationship and now we'll go into the modeling side of things. So I've deleted this relationship, and then if I go back to report view, you would see that the target sales is appearing as a consolidated number against the net sales. Reason being, now these two tables are not talking to each other, so we need to fix it. And all the fixing or all the transformations happens in the Power Query. And how do we go to the Power Query? People who are attending this third class would know. We'll go to the Home tab, we'll click on Transform Data, and then click on Transform Data again. I would be slow over here because there are new people also. So Home, and then click on Transform Data. Okay. And when I click on Transform Data, it would open a new screen, which is this Power Query screen. Okay. Everybody with me till here? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So everybody has reached with me till here. Very good. Now let me start off with a very important thing and very interesting. Okay. So we just have the sales data. In the sales data, if we look at the columns, we have all the look at the customer key, and then there is all the customer information that is available. And then there is product key and all the product information is available, right? So these columns are getting repeated. So how you can do that? If I go to this data column, which was the sales data, right click and click on duplicate. What it would do, every time the sales data is getting revised, it will create a version of it. Okay. So I click on duplicate one time, because then using this, I can create the customer and product dimensions. Okay. So I want to create a dimension table. So I'll call this as D. I will call this as D customer, which means dimension customer table. What I did was I clicked on data, right click, and did a duplicate. This and then there would be copy of it. I just renamed it as D customer. Okay, everybody was able to follow that step? Now, like we said, there are two dimensions over there. There was customer dimensions or customer master table, and then we have the product master table, right? So we need one more of it. So I'll again click on data, right click on data, again click on duplicate, and this time I'll rename it as dimension product. Okay, so I named it as D product. Okay, you have been able to follow this? Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to the D product. So what are the columns I need in D product? For the creating a master table, I need the product key and all the product related information, which is product name, subcategory name, product size, product detail, which is the category it belongs to. And order quantity is basically the sales data. You will understand that, Sujit, now why we are duplicating. We are trying to create a master table. I'll explain it. So just follow the steps. It will get clear now. So I have selected. How did I select it? I started off with product key. I clicked on control. Okay. Then clicked on product name, subcategory name, product size, product detail, and category name. These are the 6 columns that have been selected. Everybody is able to select it. Now, what I would do next is I will right click. Okay. Sorry. I selected all these columns. And then I go on top and I right click. And then you should see these options. And I would say remove other columns. Everybody reached here? Because this is one of the very good transformations that we would perform, which everybody would be able to do. Okay, I'll repeat again. So basically, we have to create a master file. So we are on D product, okay, and which is dimension product. I'll select all the product columns that should be there in the master database. And these are the 6 columns it should have. Product key. I clicked on product key, then I clicked on control, then selected all the relevant ones, which was these 6 ones: product key, product name, subcategory name, product size, product detail, and category name. I went on the header and then right clicked. Okay. And in a master file, in a product master, we should only have these particular columns, right? Because we are trying to create a master so that in the sales database, we are able to reduce the information. After that, I'll click on remove other columns. Okay, I've clicked on remove other columns, and then you would see in the product master, only these files are or these columns are available. Okay. Everybody removed other columns, and now they have just these 6. I will answer that. It will automatically reflect in because we have created a duplicate from the sales data. So the moment new sales data comes in, automatically you will have the product information coming over there. Okay, everybody was able to do this. There is one more step to be performed over here. That's why I'm asking. Okay. So now you have a lot of rows because since a product was sold multiple times, but in a master table, you don't have duplicates. You don't need to have duplicates, right? So what I'll do is I'll go to product key. Okay. I'll go to the product key. I'll again click on right click and click on remove duplicates. I'm repeating myself. I went to the product key, clicked on it, then right click that particular column top, and I'm saying remove duplicates. And then you would just have 116 rows, which means now we have 116 unique products over here. Okay, so Now your product master is ready, and you don't need to repeat everything in the sales database. Done? Very good. Now, same way, we'll create a customer master. And now you would have realized, since the data is getting copied from the sales data, any new product getting added automatically will get added to your master database. Okay. Now I'll go to the customer data. So we had created one more file, which was the customer. So I'm going to the customer and I'm going to do the same thing, which is basically select all the customer keys I need. So I had customer key, customer, business type, city name, these four columns. And then there were two columns in the end, state name and region. So 6 columns are selected for customer. These are the 6 columns: customer key, customer, business type, city name, and then I have 2 more columns, which is state name and region. Is everyone ready? Everyone reached this step? Okay. So I will right click, and what would I do? Anybody wants to guess what would I do? What should I select from here? Very good. Remove other columns. That is what I'll do. So that means all of you are listening. Good. So I'll click on remove other columns. So one second. I clicked on remove columns instead of other columns. So let me do it quickly again. Customer key, customer, business type, city name, state name and region. Right click, remove other columns. Okay, so these are the columns I am left with. And what would be the next steps? What should be the unique field in this, which will allow me to create a unique customer master? Yeah, remove duplicates. Very good, Harish. But which column should I use remove duplicates from? Customer key. Very good. You guys are getting it. Very good. So right click on this and I'll just click on remove duplicates. And you would see there are 34 unique customers I've got, which shows over here, 34 rows. Perfect. Everybody reached here? Yeah, perfect. So now you would realize we have created the product master, customer master. And now let's go to the sales data. Can I do it in customer column as well? Yes, we had to do it in customer column. You had to go to customer key and right click and remove duplicates, Mitesh. We had to do it in customer column also. Okay. Now in sales data, see, like I was explaining you, all the dimensions should be in different table and all the sales data should be in different table. So if I can get through joins or through those automated, through specific tables, the customer information, do I need to repeat it in the sales database? Not really, right? So what I'll do, I'll just keep customer key for later on connections, and I'll remove all the customer related information. Same way, I'll just keep the product key and I'll remove all the product related information and can get it in the main database through or main dashboard through the modeling. So what I'll do is these are the columns which were already created in the master database. I'll remove, which was customer, business type, city name, product name, subcategory name, product size, product detail, product name, subcategory name, product size, product detail, category name, and we had the state name and region. How many columns I've selected? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Can everybody select these 10 columns? And let me know once you are ready. Okay. Why on bottom it says 20 columns plus the overall, that's the overall, this particular table is overall 20 columns. Okay, so now what we would do is we'll right click again. This time we have selected the columns we don't want. So I'll not click on remove other columns, I'll click on remove columns. Clear? Since these are the columns we don't need. Last time we were clicking on the columns that we needed, hence we said remove other columns. This time we have selected the columns that we don't need. So I'll click on remove columns. And this would remove those 10 columns. Everybody is done with this? Great. Now, now our data is ready for modeling. Okay. Yes, there is undo option. On the right hand side, if I click on this button, it will undo and then you can redo the steps, Sujit. See, on the right hand side. No, there is no shortcut. This was shortcut only. No? We just control and selected everything, Sandesh. Yeah. Okay. Going back, what we will do is, yes, Balasubramaniam, that's what we are doing. So I'll do close and apply now. And let the changes come in over here. Once you do close and apply and let all the changes flow in, it loads data. It will take few seconds. Okay. That's what we are going to learn, Harish, now. Okay, so now once you have done close and apply, come to the model tab. This is where you would be in the report tab. You have to come to the model tab. For the purpose of being able to see information better, what I'll do, I'll keep all the dimensions on top. And I'll keep all the facts or the big data on the below. So what are the dimension tables we have? We have the product table, we have the customer table, we have supervisor table, and then we have the data table. Okay. And see what are the connections that have already been made. So now product table says 1 and then it says many over here. Okay. Let me double click on it and you should be able to see it. So the data table, the product table is connected to the data table. That means it is kind of a VLOOKUP without actually merging the entire table. This can filter the data or it can run an automatic VLOOKUP based on the product key. And it says cardinality is many to 1. Okay, what does cardinality many to 1 means? Or what does cardinality 1 to many means? 1 to many and many to 1 is the same. Here product table is down, but and data table is up, but visualize it from here. So there is one product, and then for that product, there are many line items in the sales data. So the cardinality is 1 to many. Is that logical? Because you will have one product and you will sell it multiple times, right? So this is what it signifies that yes, the cardinality is 1 to many, which means that you have been able to create a unique master which can filter this data. And then the second option is cross filter direction, which is single. Single means that the moment you select a product, this table will identify all the products and filter the data from the sales database. Okay, which is logical, right? Master table should always filter the detailed table. So that's what we have created. Same goes for customer. If I go to customer also, it has 1 to many relationship with a single directional filter. Okay. Clear? So these two relationships have been built over here. let me go back. Everybody is with me. Okay. And everybody was clear. You understood why this modeling has to be done in this manner. Ritesh, you are saying, can you please repeat it? Repeat the logic on what I explained on why we did what does cardinality means. The relationship got automatically established, Ritesh. I'll explain you once again. So basically, if I double click on this, it would open the relationship tab, which says that how these two tables are connected to each other. It says that product key is the unique one. Okay. And we are talking about the product and the sales data. The relationship is one to many, like one and over here star, which means many, which means that there is in this table, there is only one unique product, but here the product appears multiple times, which is logical, right? You are having one to many. And why we did that? You would see the product information, all the details are available. And in the data table, we have just kept one column, which is product key. So you have been able to reduce the data size and make your dashboard more efficient. And the direction filter is single, which means product, if you select from here, it will filter all the data from over here. Okay, clear? That's what it is. Okay. Now we have been able to do this relationship. Now look at the data over here. Okay, there is supervisor and customer table are connected to each other. Okay, so there is one to many relationship. If I click on this, they are connected based on state name, and which is logical. Let me open the target file for you so you are able to visualize this better. I'll open the Excel sheet which has the target. Okay, so if you see, there was the month-wise target and then there was supervisor information. And if you can see that each region, like North region has one supervisor, South region has one supervisor, East region has one supervisor, West region has one supervisor, and obviously the state belongs to a particular region. Okay. So now going back to this data, do we really need this relationship? That means it is just a attribute, right? If a customer is in one particular state, it is being served by a one particular supervisor. So we don't need this extra relationship. Rather, we can just pick that supervisor column and bring it to the customer table, and no need for having this supervisor table getting loaded in the database itself. The reason I'm explaining you this is some places you will use relationships, but whenever there are attributes that are linked to each other, like over here, this supervisor is a dimension, right? It's a master table, and there are only 4 or few unique supervisors. So you don't need to create a whole table and complicate the data model. Right now, there are only 2, 3 files, and by the time we end this session tomorrow, you would see we would have created a lot of relationships. But in real life, you will have multiple files. So you don't need to complicate your data model. And wherever there is a supervisor or wherever there are dimensions, they should try to come together to the extent possible, and dimensions should not have typically relationships among each other. That's the thumb rule, not every time, but in this case, it is quite obvious. Okay. So what we would do is we will transform the data. So I'll close this file and let me go back. And how do we do transformation of the data? We go to transform data and click on transform data. So what we have to do is we have to bring the supervisor name into the customer table. And how I can do that is by using one of the most important function in Power BI, which is the merge queries function. Okay, so I'll click on merge queries. I'll be slow over here because some of you are joining for the first time. And what I want is from which two tables I want to merge is the customer table and the supervisor table. Okay. And what is the unique field? You can see the state name, right? So I click on state name over here and I click on state code over here. So the two tables I'm merging, I went to the customer table. Okay, let me repeat the step again. I went to the customer table, went on top, and then I have to do merge queries, which is the second table I want to merge. It is the supervisor table. How I can link these two tables is based on the state name, right? And I had explained you last time what are the type of joins. I'll not repeat, but it would be left outer join applicable over here. And it has all the 34 items matching. That means all the customers, it is able to find the state against the same. Okay. And I'll click on OK over here. So you would have this coming up. Neela, a merge query option is under home. So did you click on transform data? You have to click on transform data and it should open this particular file, which is the Power Query. This window is different as you can see. Okay. You are in transform data. You clicked on transform data, then go to home. Okay. Go to home. On the top side, merge queries is there over here. You are able to see it? Transform data, go to Power Query. Yeah. So click on merge query. Shall I repeat this step? Okay, I'll repeat the step for the people who were not able to follow. So what I did was I went to the customer table. After that, I have gone to merge queries. I clicked on merge query. Then which other two tables I want to perform it on? Customer table and the second table is supervisor. What is the unique field in it? It's the state name. So I'll click on state name and state code. And then I'll perform the left outer join. I'll say OK. And then it brings the connections. And then I'll ask it to expand. I'll click on this is the new table that has come in the supervisor. I'll click on expand this particular option. And which are the columns I need? I just need supervisor column, right? So I'll untick the rest because they are already there. I don't want the original column name as prefix. I've just selected current supervisor, unticked rest of the options, and untick this also. Everybody over here, shall I click on OK? You didn't have to use the state table, Poonam. Data table. You didn't have to use the data table. We use the customer table and supervisor table. Okay. So state code and region I don't need. I just selected current supervisor and I'll click on OK. And then you would see the current supervisor is over here. Okay. So everybody reached to this stage. Now, the next step is, see, I don't really need the supervisor table now, right? Because the supervisor information is already in my customer table. And like we learned in the first session, if I don't need something, I don't need to load it in my main file and slow it down. So what I'll do is I'll go to the supervisor table, right click it, and disable the load. So there is enable load is picked as yes. I'll just click on it so that this particular table will not get loaded. Okay, so I went there, right clicked it, and removed the enable load option. I'm repeating myself. I removed the enable load option. Okay, so everybody reached over here. Shall we move to the next step? Okay, sure, I'll repeat myself. Let me undo this step. See, the supervisor, what was there in the supervisor table? There is the supervisor name only. Okay. Now in the customer table, supervisor name is already there. Okay. So I don't really need this supervisor information, or I don't really need this supervisor table. So why to slow it down, right? So I can just right click on it and ask it not to load it. So enable load means when we go to the desktop, Power BI desktop, it comes to that after transformation. But if I untick this enable load, okay, I just unticked it, then it would not be available for using in the Power BI desktop. How it matters is it improves the speed of the analysis. So if you remember, like this entire steps, whatever happens in Power Query is repeated every time. It is your extraction, transformation, and load layer. And in the desktop, you are just modeling and you are visualizing, or you are putting the data visualization. So over there, you need to be very optimistic. You need to remove all the information that you don't need because it will slow down the system. So hence I've disabled the load, and then we are ready to go back to the Power BI desktop. So I'll just click on close and apply. And I'll let this load. Okay. Now coming back to the data modeling stage. Now you would see that we have the customer dimensions, we have the product dimensions, and if I go to visualization tab, if I go to page uh, 3 of it, I can actually, since now I have everything over here, I can also add the supervisor name in this table. So there is region, and I can have this information at a supervisor level also. So if I go to this particular table, or which was there on page 3, and if I want to add the supervisor information also, so it will show me what is the supervisor level information that is there. Month-wise level, or I can start off with rather supervisor. So if I start off with supervisor, and it shows supervisor level region performance. If I only want to see supervisor, I can create it at a supervisor level, but the connection is not working because if you see, the target is coming from this file, this particular file, okay, which is not connected. So target sales should come from the key sales measure. It is still failing. So that means there is a problem in the data. Why? Because customer dimension is linked to data, product dimension is linked to data, but see, target is not linked. Target is not at all linked. Hence, Power BI is not able to filter what is the target for that particular person because this target file is not linked. While it automatically created the relationships between customer and product, there was no relationship created over here. So we need to link it. And if you see, target is at a different granularity. What does that mean? Is target is not at a product level. Target is typically at a region level. Okay. So, and region and each region has certain customers. So customer file and target file needs to link to each other. And how we can do that is in the target file, we have region, same region is also available in the customer file. So if I click on region, pull it and drop it over region over here in the target file, automatically the relationship appears. Okay, so there is region, west region, over here region is there. I'll explain you why many-to-many cardinality will work over here. Since these two tables are at a different granularity, which means the target we have at a region level, wherein a customer, multiple customers they can be there in a single region. Okay, that's why it is possible. This cardinality is not at a risk, but cross filter direction cannot be both. It should always be dimension filtering the raw data or the transaction data. So it would be single customer filters the target. What it means is that if there are, let's say, target is there for West region. Now we are saying this particular table identifies the first table, customer table, that in West region there are 40 customers, right? So this particular table, which is the unique table, which will always have unique customers for the particular unique customers for particular region, should filter the target wherein it varies at a state level. Okay, that's why the direction cross filter direction is single. So although cardinality is many to many means that there are multiple times regions appearing over here and over here also, but it is always filtering your master data with the transaction data. Okay, and I'll click on save, but before that I'll ask everyone if you were able to follow this. Yeah, that is possible. That is possible. In which case it will appear as 0, Neela. Okay, so I'll click on save. So this relationship is also completed. So the moment I click on save, now everything in our model is linked. If I go back and see over here, see now you are able to see month level current supervisor filters the target sales with the actual sales. I'll repeat once again, Poonam. So what I did was I had these two tables were not linked to each other, the customer and target. I'll just undo this relationship and repeat again. I have what is the common column between the sales table and the target table? It is the region one. So I clicked on region, dragged it, and dropped it on the target column. Okay. So as you can see now, the region is west over here is filtering over here. Many to many cross filter direction. I just said single, which means customer filters the target. The dimensions of the master table filters the data for the transactions, and then I just did save, and the relationship is established. There's no error appearing at the bottom. No, that is, I explained you, that is just saying many to many cardinality, but I explained that in some cases many to many is fine because here the information is at a different granularity, which is fine over here till the time it is single directional filter, which means master is filtering the transaction data. Okay, so we are clear over here. Okay, let me move forward now. Now, granularity means the sales target is at a state level wherein the customers are clubbed at a region level. That's what it means. So in that case, you may have many to many relationships. Now, coming to the next step. Now we had built that target sales level at a month. Now we can have the actual sales also over here. So if I go to this particular table, I can select net sales, and you would see that net sales and month-wise target is not matching, right? The reason for the same is pretty easy. I go to the data model. Now, where is the date coming from in this filter? It is coming from the target month name. Okay. But is my target month connected to the data table? Because the sales data is picking up data from the sales table. Target table is picking up data from the target table. If I connect these two dates, like this month date, please don't follow this, I'm just explaining you, to the order date, it will have many to many and both cross filter direction. Again, your transaction data should never be linked to each other, because then you would get confused. Sometimes, like the filtering can go very wrong in this case. So while I can do that, but it is very risky to do it. So hence we'll not do it. And we always need to have another dimension table for it, which is called as the date table. So that you have a date table and that date table connects with the data and target. So date table is basically just the dates so that it is able to do the time-based filtering. Okay. So date becomes a dimension over here, and all your data analytics would have a date table by default. Clear? This was just theory. It's okay. And now we would learn how to create a date table. But I'll pause here. Any questions still over here, or I can continue building on the date table? Okay, fair. Now, how do we build the date table? It's quite interesting. I'll go to the home. In the modeling tab, today is all on data modeling, so we'll use mostly modeling. So go to the modeling tab, okay, and then there is an option for new table. Can you see this? Modeling tab, new table option. Is everybody able to see this? Because we'll add the formula once we have done it. No, we will not do duplicate sales table. It will take much more time. There are easier solutions to it. Okay. So go to modeling tab, click on new table. Okay. Once I click on new table, it will open a formula. Or your formula bar would have this open. I will call this table as date table. Date table. Okay. I'm waiting for you guys before I enter formula, because I can't repeat the steps over here in Power BI desktop are a little difficult to repeat. So you just update date table and then I'll give you the formula on how to create a date table automatically. Okay. Then date table, and then there is a formula. I'll put it on the chat window as well, which is called as calendar auto. There is a formula called as calendar auto, and it says that returns a table with one column of dates calculated from the model automatically. What it means is it will look at all the tables in your model or all the data tables, and it will create a date table starting from the date where the first sales date is appearing and ending to the date where the last date is appearing. And this would automatically update itself. So it's a very good formula. So I just clicked on date table and then selected this calendar auto. I'll put it on the chat window, so even if you miss the formula, you can just copy paste it over here. Okay. Let me know once you guys are ready, then I'll do apply. Okay, so I'm going to do apply. Apply means on the left hand side, you will see a tick mark, which means commit. So I'll click on commit and your date table is ready. So if you look on the right hand side, now date table is appearing. Let's see how it looks like. So on the table view, if you go, you will see date for each date. So basically it has created 365 rows based on the first date that is appearing on your model all the way till the last date of sales. Okay, so your date table is ready. Now, we can connect this date table, or if I go over here, date table, I can connect this date table to my order date. So what I'll do, I'll pick the date and drop it over order date, and then this relationship would work. Again, logically, one to many, which means, see over here, there is one date in date table, and then there can be many sales, which is logical, and it is okay if it doesn't matter. Automatically, the system will pick, and the second date table will pick it up and put it on the target. Again, one to many relationship. Because you have not completed the modeling, Satyanarayana. So that's what we are doing. So after you created the date table, come over here and then connect these dates to the data table and the target table. These are the two steps I performed. I clicked on date, okay, and let me repeat the steps for everyone. I'll undo what I did. Okay, so now our date table is ready, but we need to connect it so that the databases can filter information. So what I'll do is I click on date and then connect it to our sales data based on order date. Okay. It says that there is one to many relationship, which means there is one date, and on one date there are multiple sales, which is logical. Single cross filter directions from master data to the transaction data. I'll do save. The second thing I'll have to repeat is for the target. So I'll click on date, and we had created a column called as month name. Drop it on that. And again, logical one to many, which means a single month may have multiple targets, which is the state-wise target. Cross filter direction single, which means from the master data to the transaction data. So save. And once I've done that, if I go back to the report view, you would see now, you would see that now here it is picking from the target month. I'll just put the date from the date table. So if I put the date from the date table and I want just month by comparison, so I'll remove the year, quarter and keep month, put it on top. You would see I have got month wise target sales and net sales. Clear on the applications of the date table? What's wrong to pick the data from the sales table, Harish? So your sales table is not linked to your target table, right? How would it filter the information? So why you are connecting the modeling is basically you are creating VLOOKUPs. Okay. If you try to filter information from two tables without applying VLOOKUP, how would the system know which area you are filtering? So if the sales data and your target data is not linked to each other, you are saying sales for the month of March, but that is not linked to your target table. These two are not connected to each other. So how would the system know that what was the target for the month of March? So we have created a bridge, a dimension bridge. Now, every time you are doing the sales filter, the filtering is happening based on dimension, and it is bringing you the sales for that month and the target for that month. That's why all the dimensions on the top, or all the master records on the top, and all the transaction records on the bottom. Clear, Harish? Everybody is clear? and how this is working fine now? Yeah, perfect. So now I don't like this format of the month. Okay. I want it like how we normally use Jan 2013, Feb 2013. How we can do that? Okay. So for that, I'll again go to the table view. I have the data table, date table, and then I need to add more columns, which I can use for the purpose of better looking visuals. Okay. And how do I do that? I can do that by adding columns to it. Okay. So if I go to the date table and if I go to the columns, there is an option for new column. Okay. What I have done is, I'll repeat myself. I went to the table view. I've clicked on the date table and clicked on this particular column. It activated column tools. Okay. And then there is an option for new column. And I'm going to add a new column using DAX. Okay. Everybody followed till here? Yeah, perfect. So what I'll do is, once I click on new column, it will again open a formula bar. I want the month number also to be appearing. So I will write the name as month number. And the formula for month number is month, and returns a number 1 to 12 representing each month, and we need to add the date. And which is the date column? It's the date table in the date column. Okay. This is how we need to do it. I'll repeat again. I'll just delete this so that others are able to follow it. Wait, let me go back. Let me just delete this again so others are able to follow it. I went to the table view. I selected the date table. Then I selected this column, the date column. The column tools got activated. And then in that, there was an option for new column. I click on new column. Okay. And then I need a column for month number. So I'll say month number. And then there is a formula which says month, only month. Okay. I select that formula and then I just need, it returns a number 1 to 12 depending the month. So based on which column I want, based on this date column, I want it to represent the month. So I'll choose the date column. So there is this particular date table. In date table, the date column. I chose this and I'll close the bracket. And I'll put on commit. I'll click on commit and I'll give you the formula over here also. Okay, everybody is able to create this month number column. Great. Now, moving on to the next one. Typically, we have like alphanumeric columns, right? So I want it in that format. The date, the way in which my organization represents the month. So what I would do is, again, I'll go to the date column. I clicked on date column. I need to add a new column. Column tools would get activated. Again, I'll say new column. And now I'll create a new column, which I'll call as month name. And I will use this particular formula, which is called as format. Okay. Format says which value. So the value is, again, I want this particular date to be formatted. And this asks me which locale, which means which format do you want? You can choose the format you use for your organization. I want it in MMMYY format, which means like first 3 letters of the month and the year. So I use the MMMYY format, and I'll just do the bracket close. I'll just copy this formula and give it to you guys also. So I'll do comment, and then see it has automatically done for Jan 23. Instead of returning the full date, it is giving me the month name in the format that I desire. I've given the formula also in the chat window now. Okay. Let me know once you guys are ready. We'll move to the next step. Perfect. Now, I want to build, like we said, when we started off, I had shown you the end result. So this is how the end result was looking like. We need to build a dashboard like this. And if I go to this dashboard, it has month-wise dates. And when I click on month, any month, it gives me gross sales for the month, average discount, net sales, and it is dynamic. I want to build this kind of dashboard, and that's what our objective is, right? So I'll first start off with building this chart, which would give me month-wise data. Okay. So I need net sales by month in the chart. So I have this. I need net sales by month. So I'll choose a chart first. I think that was a area chart, stacked area chart, or it was a, I think it was a stacked area chart. I'll click on stacked area chart. And what I want on stacked area chart is a month data, which was the month name. From the date table, I'll select the month name. And then I want the net sales by month. Okay. So I got net sales by month in this stacked area chart. I'll fix this, rather remove this. Okay. Now the problem is, see, it's giving me November, August, February, May, October, Jan, because it is moving it alphabetically. Or right now it is, I think this sales is by highest to lowest. Okay. I don't want it in this format. I want it month-wise trend, right? So the reason being, if I show you, it is not reading it like a date. It is reading it like a text. See, the format is text. So what is the solution for it? And this is very important. I'll click on month again, and I'll say sort by column, and which can be the month number or the date. If I do sort by column, and if I select month, automatically you will see Jan comes 1, 2, 3, it would go. And then this chart, okay, this is why it is still, oh, sort descending was activated over here. Why it is showing sort descending? Yeah, okay. I think I put it in the, but it is always November, October, November, Jan. It's going reverse, right? I think there's some problem in my. It's by default went sort descending. Sorry. Some error in mine, but you would be able to see it something like this, which is Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, after we have done the steps. Let me ask, are you able to see this? Did you do the sort table? And are you able to get the chart like this? Okay, I'll repeat myself. See, if what was happening was, it was giving you, it was organizing it ascending, which means April was coming first because A comes first. Then B, C, D, like August was coming next. Okay. The reason was this, it was reading like a alphabets. Okay. How we can resolve it? If you go to the table view, if you select on month name, you will have an option sort by column. You don't want it to be organized alphabetically. You want it to be organized numerically. And month name typically would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means it would be numerically. Ideal would be you sort it by date or month. In this case, there is only 1 year, so I can state by month number also, or I can sort it by date. Okay. So if I sort it by date, then if you see, it would have Jan 1st, Feb next, March next. So it has sorted it in an ascending manner. So it resolves that issue. So you are able to get date in your required format. At the same time, you are able to make it appear in the ascending order of occurrence. Okay. Clear? You were able to do this now. You were able to sort it, and then you are able to build this chart which appears like this. Okay. Perfect. So we have the net sales chart, which goes month wise. Now the next is we have to create what else is appearing in the over here. We have this matrix table, right, which gives me supervisor level, net sales, and target sales. Okay, so we will create this chart also because eventually we have to build that powerful one. So I've already created a matrix chart, but I'll repeat. This is the normal chart actually. I'll delete it and recreate instead. So now you have to create a matrix table. Okay, we have done this line chart. Now click on the visualization which says matrix. Over here, it appears something like this. If you can see my screen, I've clicked on matrix. Okay, everybody clicked on matrix chart. I did not get your question, Harish. Which screen? Okay, everybody is able to get this matrix chart. Then what we need to do is we have to, this is a reference dashboard. This is how we want to build. So we want supervisor, net sales, and sales target coming together. Okay. So supervisor is there in the customer table. So I'll select the current supervisor. Okay. And then I want net sales, which was in our key sales. I'll select net sales. And then we have the target sales. Right. So we got these three: current supervisor, net sales, and target sales. And we also want how the performance was, which was basically the sales versus target performance. So I don't have a measure for it. So I need to create a sales versus target measure. Okay. So any questions over here? Yeah, it will convert it, Shivani. You are right. It will just convert it. Just select on the old chart and click on matrix as well. Okay, so we don't have the sales versus target. So we are going to learn again few more DAX equations. DAX queries is very important. I mean, the more you learn, the better. So I'll click on these three dots and I'll click on new measure. Okay, so I went to the key sales measure tab. There are three tabs next to it, three dots. I'll click on it and I'll click on new measure. I want the sales versus target measure. Sales versus target. And how does sales versus target would get calculated? I'll use divide function. Divide what is the actual sales that I achieved, which was net sales DAX, and compare it with my target sales. So which is the target sales. Okay. This is the formula I will use and it will give me sales versus target performance. I'll just hold this formula for a while. So you are able to copy it and use it. I'll just put it on the chat window also. So you are able to follow it. I'll wait for a few seconds so everybody is able to use the formula. How to go to measures? Just click on key sales measures. There are three dots next to it. Click on it, and then there was an option for new measures. Let me just apply this formula. I think then I would be able to do it. I'll just apply this formula. Okay. Just click on this three dots, and then there was an option for new measure. Okay, and it would open the screen. And then this is the formula I've used, which is basically I wanted sales versus target performance. So net sales, what was the actual sales achieved divided by the target sales. And this formula I've copied it in the chat window also. Everybody is able to create this measure. We can't change the column type, no, because it was having name. It was in a specified format. Column type can read only, you can say number or you can say text, but it was a mixture of text and number. How would the system know? It would classify it as a text only. If you classify the data type as number, it would give you incorrect results. I mean, it would say incorrect information. That's why we were not able to do that, Ramesh, over there. Okay. So now we have the sales versus target available. So I will put the sales versus target as an additional feature in this matrix one. I'll remove the above table. I don't need it as of now. So everybody is able to see it. I'll increase the size of it. So this is the sales versus target, but I want this in percentage terms. So what I'll do, I'll click on the measure. I'll click on the sales versus target measure, and I'll update its format to percentage. So I'll just click on the percentage sign, and you would see it is updated. So what I did, I went on sales versus target measure. I clicked on it. This measure tools window appears on the top, and I selected the format type as percentage. And now I have sales versus target appearing as a percentage. Okay. Everybody is able to follow it? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I think this is done then sales versus target. I wanted to show one more thing. I'll go back to this net sales, this line chart. Right now, if I click on anything, it asks me net sales. Okay. There is a very interesting option, tooltips. I can also put this sales versus target on the tooltips. So I can see actually, okay, my net sales was this. How much target did I achieve? It was just 57%. In August, how much was my target achievement? 169%. See, if I click on this, like I said, it filters the information. If I click on it, on this, you can see if I have achieved 69%, this also gets filtered. What was the target sales? Which person performed the best so that I was able to achieve more than the target? Okay. Same goes in if any particular month, like over here, I achieved just 33% of the target in June. If I click on June, I can see that which people had target, but they did not achieve the target at all. Okay. So it gives a very interesting perspective. So I just dropped sales versus target to the tooltips. Okay. Clear? Which formatting? I have not done any formatting. Muhassin. Okay, so we reached till over here. Now, see, we have to now do one more thing. There was very interesting formatting over here. See, it was showing green and red wherever green wherever we have achieved the target, and red wherever we have not achieved the target. It is basically conditional formatting that we do in Excel, right? So we want to do it over here also. How I'm going to do it, I want the conditional formatting to be appearing on the sales versus target. So if I go to sales versus target, and then there is this particular field, that down arrow key. Okay, if I click on the down arrow key, it has an option for conditional formatting. I can click on it and then I can go to icons. Went to conditional formatting and then I went to icons. I'll wait here so others are also able to follow. How do we convert to percentages? Okay, that formatting you guys were asking. Sorry about that. I did not understand. So what I did was, in case of sales versus target, I just clicked on this measure. Okay. And then the measure tools appears on top. And in the format, just select percentage or just click on this percentage symbol. Okay. Uh, you were able to do it now? Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we have to do the conditional formatting. So what I'll do, I'll click on this tab. I want conditional format to appear for sales versus target. So there's a down arrow key. I'll select that, and then I'll click on conditional formatting. I'm going to go to icons because I want icons. So these are the default icons which I'm going to use it, and these are the rules that I can set. Okay, I want the rules for values which call field, sales versus target. And how I want it is, let's say if the value, okay, because you would remember what we have done is net sales divided by sales target, right? So which means it gives the answer which ranges from 0 all the way till 300, 400, 1000, depending on what we have achieved. So in case the sales target achieved is 0, I've selected number, and 0 till, let's say, up to 99, or let's say 95 or 0.95, up to 95%, I want this to be red. So if the sales target achieved is 0 to 95%, I want it red. If it is achieved between, let's say, 95 till let's say 105, which is 1.05 in this, I want it to be green, or I want it to be orange, which means just achieve the target. And if the target achieved is more than 105%, okay, I want it to be green. I'll just make this number and I'll remove the number because you can achieve any, I mean, overachievement can be anywhere. So I'll not have any number over here. So if I achieve less than 95%, it would be red. Between 95 to 105%, it would be orange. And more than 105%, it would be green. Okay. I'll wait over here. If you are able to do, which icon did you click for conditional formatting? I went over here, Vivek. I clicked on the table. Then I wanted sales versus target to have conditional formatting. So this downward arrow key, you click on that, and then there was a click on conditional formatting. Then there was an option for icons. Okay, I clicked on icons, and then style is what you can choose. Like I've just chosen the default slide style. You can choose any style, and then I'm using this particular factor. Up to 95% red, 95 to 105 orange, more than 105% is green. Okay. So I'll click on OK, and then you would see this particular table appearing with the conditional format. Okay. Perfect. Now, one very important thing, this may take 5 minutes extra, five or few minutes extra. We'll try to finish it on 8:30 only. But I want to finish this before we close the session today.
No problem.
Now, if you, sorry. Now, if you look over here, it is giving me smart narratives, which means this is like if I go on any particular month, it is literally giving me all the information for that month. I want such kind of a tooltip, not just a simple tooltip which is just giving me sales versus target. Okay. So how do we build that? I'll teach you now how to build tooltips. Possibly we'll wrap it up in next 10 minutes itself. So I'll be little faster over here. So I click on new page. I clicked on the plus symbol, which was new page, and I will name it as tooltip. Okay. I just renamed this page as tooltip. Okay. And then when I go to this page, there is option on the top right side in visualization, format your page. Okay. Go to canvas background. Sorry. Go to the what happened? One second. And go to canvas settings. Sorry. Okay. I went to format page, format your report page, go to canvas settings, and in the type, move it to tooltip. Okay. And then it should happen like this. So go to format page. Don't click on anything, just click outside. Go to format your report page. Second option, canvas setting. The first option, instead of 16:9, use tooltip. Okay, reached over here. Yeah, okay. So now this area is ready for using as a tooltip. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll go to insert next. I'll just add a simple text box. Okay. And I want to create something like this. So which gives me gross sales, discount, everything. Okay, so over here it was gross sales for the month was, so I'll write the same thing. Gross sales for the month was, and then I want this area, the gross sales for that particular month, to appear automatically or dynamically. The moment I hover on anything, it should filter that. So whenever I want that kind of information, there is an option to add value. Okay. So I've written normally gross sales for the month was, and then in this tab, I'll click on value. And which value I want? I want gross sales to appear, right? So I'll select, how do you calculate this value? As gross sales. Gross sales. Gross sales lakhs. This is the one. Okay. I selected it. I do save for it. Okay. Are you able to follow me? Because if you follow one, then rest of it is very easy. We'll just keep on writing things. Were you able to follow this? Okay, perfect. So gross sales for the month was this, and with average discount during the month being 13.7. I'll do it now with the second one. Okay. Gross sales for the month was this value with one second. Gross sales for the month was I clicked on value wherever I wanted the gross sales. And then it is dynamically selecting. So I selected gross sales DAX and it saved. Then I'll write with average discount. And now again, I want the discount to appear dynamically. So at this, I'll select again the value. I select the plus symbol And then I want to add the discount formula, which was discount percentage DAX. Okay, I'll do save. Gross sales for the month was this with average discount of 10.9%. This meant then I'll need the net sales for it. So I would say this meant the net sales for the month was. What I would do again is I'll just click on value with the formula for net sales. I'll save this. And I need to compare it with the target. So compare to target sales of this particular value, which is the target sales. Target sales. I'll do save. And in the bracket, I'll write what was the percentage of target achieved. So that means percentage of target achieved, and this would be again I'll have value, and this formula was sales versus target formula. Sales versus target formula. And finally, I'll just add the gross margin. Gross margin for the month was again value. I'll say gross margin percentage. I'll save this. Okay. I'll just copy paste this entire formula in the chat window. So you are also able to create this particular dimension. Okay. Now, coming back, any questions on this one? Fine. So I think we are at 8:27, so I'll be mindful of the time, and I will hand it back to Amit Bhai, and obviously we'll meet tomorrow once again.
Thank you. So, all right. So I think that brings us to the end of the day 3. And Mahendra bhai, one thing I want to tell you, you are so patientful while taking and reading the chats. And I think the members are also must be considering and noticing this. So thank you so much for this wonderful sessions. I think, who have joined us fresh today. Sorry, my video was not on. Yeah, so fresh today, I hope you found the value and the felt included as well. So you are already exhausted for the 2 hour session, so I won't take. So let's connect tomorrow, same time, same Zoom room, and for the final session.
Thank you.
Okay, so till then, take care and good
Thank you.
night.